Hey everybody, I'm John Granado. That's Josh Jordan. You can hear us on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet so you get all of our content here at SportsMap HOU. You also see Josh's content at SportsMapHouston.com. Check that out. Josh, what to do with Montero? I mean, his ERA is over 7. He's a disaster. There's no lead big enough now to bring him in. You had a 3-run lead against the Mets. You bring him in, and now it's a 1-run lead. You just can't keep trotting this guy out.
You can't do it. You got to figure something out for him, whether it's what do we see with the Blue Jays pitcher, Alek Manoah, how they just kind of said, hey, we got to get him figured out. We can't have him coming out there and pitching all the time. The Astros were the last team to light him up before they took him down. So I don't think going to the minor leagues is exactly what Montero needs. I would almost rather fake a calf injury or something like that and then put him on the back fields and just have it figure him out. You got to put him under the microscope, figure out what's going wrong, and then step by step bring him back up.
It's just disastrous. It's one of the worst signings ever. And we're not being, second guessing. We're not Monday morning quarterbacking here. As soon as I saw that, I was like, what? $34.5 million for Montero. What are you doing? The Astros era of not having a general manager, that month is costing them years. It's costing them millions of dollars between Abreu and Montero. And it just is so that was actually pretty predictable, though, if you want to know the truth. We should have seen Abreu's decline because of his age and his bat speed and all of the measurables from the last 2 months of last season. But Montero, his last year was an outlier. Him being good is an outlier in his career.
It is, and if you look at it, I believe he's the 5th highest paid relief pitcher. The other guys are closers. I mean, he's making a lot of money, and I mean, the opponent's batting average against him is well over 300. I mean, it's the stats tell you, and it's not he's getting unlucky anymore. I mean, those balls are getting blasted all over the ballpark. That's not bad luck. He's got to get it figured out because they're in a bad spot, John. They need him to come around.
Listen, if not for Julks making that catch, it would have been even worse. I mean, and that was a bullet that was hit, and Julks saved the team from actually probably losing that game. They would have fallen behind thanks to Montero. You just can't put him out there. This is awfully important to fix. I don't know. Is he fixable? I'm sure that the law firm of Miller and Murphy is working with him, but I don't know that it's fixable.
That's why I feel like there's some confidence to it. There's something between the ears. That's why I don't want to send him just down to the minors to make starts. I think he needs to build that confidence back up. That's something that you have to do. Sometimes you got to go on those backfields, like I said, and just get your mechanics worked out, get your mind right, and then build back to it. The problem is look at next year, John. I mean, it's basically Montero, Ryan Presley, and Abreu. Everybody else is pretty much going to be a free agent. Neris is the only one that has a player option, but I believe if he makes 9 more appearances, that becomes, instead of a club option, it becomes a player option. So he's not going to keep that $8.5 or $9 million deal for next year. Neris is going to see what Montero made, and he's going to want to go out on the market and get a similar type deal.
Well, that depends on how well he pitches down the stretch. If I'm Stanek, I want out of here because something happened to him as well. He didn't get used at all in the postseason last year, and he's only used sparingly this year. If I'm him, I want out. I could certainly see it. Yeah, I mean, everybody in this
Maton's up too. This is last year his deal, last year Stanek's deal, and Neris is probably gone too.
Well, I hope that Dana Brown is as good as James Click was in finding bullpen help, because James Click, turns out he was really, really good at what he did, but after he left, this thing has fallen apart in a hurry, and they've got to find some way, somehow to salvage this thing if they're going to stay at the top of the American League like they have been.
They do, and the only thing that gives me a little encouragement is they kind of turned Montero into what he is. We didn't expect him to be this good last year based on the trade when he came over. So maybe they can create that magic again and get him fixed.